We'll introduce our next guest. I did quite like her in Stargate Atlantis. She is a wonderful actress. She's been in The English Patient, Tech Wars, The Horror, Storm of the Century, most recently in charge as head nurse in Transplant. She was the tough, resourceful Dr. Elizabeth Weir in Stargate SG-1, and then she really took charge in Stargate Atlantis. And she's here to share her experience and some of the tales along the way of her journey. Please welcome Torri Higginson.
Replicators in the audience, maybe. I'm not sure. So I have to bring my phone with me in case my mom calls. So we'll answer that if she calls. It'll be short, but just in case. Wow, I think this is my third time in Bonn. And I think my first time was like 11 years ago in this teeny little con. It was one of my, it must be more than 11 actually, because it was one of my first. Maybe it wasn't one of my first. Apologies, first of all, I'm old now, so my memory is not very good. But my heart's bigger. My brain is smaller, but my heart is bigger. So I apologize if I can't answer all of your questions to the same level that you could answer them. I think we should be reversing this, and I should be asking you all questions about Stargate, because I know you know more than I do about that. But anyway, Bonn, I have a very fond memory of Bonn from years ago, a very intimate, small convention. It was super sweet. And then I was just at this one with you guys, FedCon, a few years ago. But this is my first time I've had time off. So I went and hung out with Beethoven's ghost yesterday, listened to some music in his house. And then I walked along the Rhine, came back to the hotel, and I felt like I was in the Riviera, because it because it was just blue skies, and it's very, very pretty here. And now it's cooler, so we can appreciate it. Right? It was sweaty. It was an intimate day. Hugs, anybody? Come on. Yeah. All right, I hope you guys have some questions, and I hope that I can answer them for you, and thank you all for being here. And also, thank you. I do just have to say, I forgot my glasses up in my room, so thank goodness there's a spotlight. Hi, how are you doing?
Fine. And you?
Very well, thank you.
Fine. My question is about Transplant. I was surprised to you see in the show, and how was it for you, the casting process? And what was your thoughts about the scientist in Stargate Atlantis and the nurse position in the hospital? And how was the work with the cast?
What was the last question?
How was the work with the cast?
Oh, okay. Now if my memory's got to go back to the first question you asked. Thank you for asking about Transplant. That's a show I just did 4 seasons of in Montreal, Canada. I weirdly had 10 years of working in Montreal, Canada. I did 5 different projects there. And the one I did before Transplant, which I say to you guys is kind of science fiction. It's about medicine, and it's a made-up story. So, you know, you can check it out. Science fiction. Oh well. Boom. But I had, before I did Transplant, I did another show there with some of the same writers and one of the same producers. It was for a different network. It was for CBC, and it was called This Life. And that was a show that meant a lot to me. So I was brought on Transplant last minute. I didn't really audition for it. They knew me rather well. It was supposed to just be for 1 season. I was there to play John Hannah. Do you guys know that wonderful Scottish actor? Yes, charming, right? So it was a part I didn't quite know what she was going to be, but I jumped at the opportunity to play John Hannah's romantic interest. And then just the way storytelling goes when they're writing a series, things just change. They might start the show with a really specific idea of what the arc is going to be, and then they let both the actors and life and the audience and all that stuff sort of shift and change their story. So I ended up getting 4 seasons out of the gig, which was, nice for an old actor. But it was a lovely cast. It was interesting too because on Atlantis, we felt like the babies. Like I was shooting my first episode for SG-1. At the same time, we were shooting the pilot episode for Atlantis. So I was going from this one set of SG-1 where they'd been together for 10 years, and they were just mischievous imps. They were playful, they were casual, they were confident. It was their show, they knew each other so well. And then you come over to our set, and we were all brand new, and we just sort of felt like we were the young, straight babies that didn't know how to crack a joke. So it was really fun on Transplant, where I was the old person in that show. I was like the wizened, I've been working with producers for 5 years on other stuff, and they had the main cast was a group of very young actors, lovely people, Hamza Hack, just delicious, Laurence Labouffe, just beautiful Montreal actor. So it was a great job and a great gig. And I love working in Montreal. I love poutine, and I love speaking bad French. So it was a win-win. Did I get all your questions? I think so.
And I liked the show very much.
Did you?
Because of you.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for watching. It was a nice take, too. The show was called Transplant, and it was dealing with, I remember feeling very much in Canada and New York for years and years when I traveled in New York, especially in America, but pretty much anywhere in Canada. Every time you got in the cab, you asked the person, the cab driver, who are you, where are you from? It was always Syria, and I'm a doctor, but here I've got to drive a cab. And that story is so common throughout the world, so it was sort of lovely. They really played that immigration story. It was dealing with a person who was transplanted from another culture, as well as the funny take on heart transplants or the such. But it was a nice show. Thank you for watching that. I appreciate that.
Hi. I wanted to pick up on our chat during the autograph session about London theatre. Is there a play or a role you would love to do one day? Or an actor you would love to perform a play with?
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes, all of them, any of them, yes. I really love theater. I have to say, I used to try to do a play every year or so. I think it's been 4 or maybe even 5 years now since I've done a play, and it will scare the bejesus out of me next time I do one. But it will also explode my heart wide open. As far as a specific one, I'm not sure. I would say Shakespeare, but there is not that many there's just, we did, oh gosh, what was it? We did Julius Caesar, an all-female cast when I was in theater school. So unless we do that kind of cast jumping, it's not that exciting for a woman of my age. There's not as many wonderful parts in Shakespeare. But I would do anything. I was working, the last play I did was called Domesticated. Bruce Norris was the writer. He writes extraordinary stuff. Yeah, I'm that unemployed actor right now. Just, yeah, do it, anything. But I love that you go to London. And you said you do that frequently.
Yes.
How often do you go? Once a year, or?
Maybe like 3 or 4 times, depending on which plays are going on.
Okay, we got to change numbers. We gotta meet up there.
You need to do a play in London, so.
Oh my, it would be my favorite. Like literally, when I was here last year, or I was in the UK last year, I had 4 days in London and I saw 6 plays. Like I just get. My friend, like she found out I was in there because I posted something. She goes, "I can't believe you're in London. You didn't call me." I said, "I've only got 4 days and there's 6 plays I have to see." So she ran to meet me at the South Bank, and she said, "Well, let's get a glass of wine." I said, "This is my second play. I can't really do wine." I hadn't seen her for a while, so we had the wine. I don't remember that evening's play. I think I slept through it, and I was really relieved when I read the reviews and were like, "Oh, they said it wasn't a very good play." I went, "Yeah, that was it. That's why I slept. It wasn't the bottle of wine." But I love you do that. In theater, it's so expensive right now. It breaks my heart. It's criminal. It shouldn't be that expensive. I line up and do, seconds whenever I can, returns. It really breaks my heart when art is not affordable. it should be affordable for everyone at all times. Like in Paris, right? I don't know if it's totally, it's like a hard passion. I don't know if it's still true, but I remember you could still get €5 tickets for the opera in Paris. I mean, it's standing at the back, but it used to be that there was still something available to you if you wanted to. And I feel that's less and less in London right now, which is irksome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll see you in the theater. Hiya.
Hi, I'm in a Discord server with friends, and about once a month we watch shitty movies. And you were in one.
Just one?
So far. Do you by any chance remember the movie Stonehenge Apocalypse? Do you dream
No,
the word
don't remember.
electromagnetic? It gets mentioned 26 times in the movie. We did a drinking game.
Did you really?
Yes.
Oh my god, that was the phrase that got you drunk before Act 1 was over?
Yeah. So any fun stories? Because like we genuinely enjoyed it because it is so bad. It is
so bad. And so many bad British accents in that. Myself. I think I had one scene that I could sell it. The other scenes were just, oh my god. Yeah, and Misha Collins, do you guys know him? You must know him, right? Total dreamboat human being. Smart, funny, irreverent, such a joy to work with. One of my favorite stories from that show is I think it's one of the opening scenes. Oh no, maybe not. Oh gosh. But we're in full hazmat gear, and they had rebuilt Stonehenge Apocalypse out of foam in a field just outside of Vancouver. And I'm supposed to be digging away, and all of a sudden the director's the other side of the field, and through the megaphone's like, Torri, you're acting too hard. The stones are moving. Stop acting so hard. I'm like, oh, pretend dig at the foam Stonehenge. Yeah, those moments are, and I used to say I was like, Queen in Canada of the C, I wouldn't say B movie, C, D movie action films. And I loved them because it sort of fed you to do theater. And you go, okay, I don't have to get a job as a waiter right now. I've done that. I loved it, missed it, but I also was happy to not do it. So you go, yeah, I'll do this little movie that no one's gonna see. It's terribly bad. No one's gonna see it. Then the internet happened. And then you guys, the sci-fi fans, go, ooh, I'm gonna find out about her. Curse all of you.
It was good fun, so thank you for that.
Well, I'm glad you guys got drunk. It's so funny, people talk about how actors must have this ego, and like we're really, most of us are deeply insecure human beings, we need to sort of wear a mask to feel comfortable in front of people. And then also, if you do start getting a bit of an ego because you're working, very quickly you have to put it aside. When people see shows like that, or you remember, oh yeah, I did that, oh my gosh. Anyway, very fun. Hi.
Hi. You mentioned pissing in a river several times. I was wondering what...
Not personally, I have not personally. Well, maybe I have, but...
Yeah. I was wondering what other Patti Smith songs are your favorites?
Oh gosh, I love so many of her songs, and I used to really dislike her album. What was it called? The big song on it was "People Have the Power," because I was introduced to her when I was in high school, and she had retired at that point. She wasn't doing shows anymore, and I enjoyed being a music snob and loving this person that nobody was paying attention to in my high school. So when she came back and she started recording music. Yeah, to me, I just went, oh, it's too modern. It's not her. I like the old stuff. I think Horses is one of the most extraordinary debut albums that ever came out. It is poetry, it is passionate, it is, you can dance to it. It's just fabulous. Frederick is a love song she wrote to her husband, and it just makes me weep with yearning every time I hear it. So I love all of her stuff. But there's that song, People Have the Power, which has become such an anthem. And especially right now, she's American. America's kind of a shit show right now, sorry. But that song means even more to me now. Like it is an anthem asking people to get up, to do something, to be a part of the process, to remember that democracy only works if you take part in it. And she's very political and wise, and she's a rock star. Do you have a favorite song of hers?
Oh, so many. It's hard to pick favorites. I listen to Seneca a lot today because it calms me down.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm gonna listen to that one tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Patty Smith. You guys, Germans love her too, right? She comes out here a lot, I think. She's out in, I think she's out in Germany a lot. No? Do you guys know her? Which? Oh, I'll be back. I'll see you there. Hi.
Hi. I do have a question about temperature. Maybe fits quite well for now. So, I only recently got into Stargate Atlantis, and when I'm out with a bunch of people, we girls, we always need a jacket in the night because it gets cold, while all the men are like, no, it's so warm. So, when I watched Atlantis, I always saw Elizabeth, or most of the time, saw her running around in a light t-shirt, while all these warrior men are running around with long sleeves and a jacket. And I was always thinking like, okay, either she's fine and they are sweating, or they are fine and she's like freezing. So, my question to you, can you tell us something about the temperature?
The temperature of Atlantis. Well, I mean, yeah, because they were working harder than I was. They were running around doing stuff. I was just in my office. Maybe Weir was going through, it would be very early, because I was in my 30s then, so maybe it was very early menopause and she was just having hot sweats all the time. Maybe. But no, I don't remember. That was the other thing, in comparison to the SG-1 set, we felt very fortunate because we had this really, it felt like a Frank Lloyd Wright, set almost. We had this beautiful, that staircase that was desperate for a musical. It was screaming for a musical, that staircase. But then you go to SG-1, it felt everything was really sort of compact in these corridors, and so I don't remember it being very warm. But yeah, let's just say I was cool and they were sweaty. Let's go with that.
You got a jacket in the third season, so...
Yeah, it's true. And then I got that leather outfit for one scene. Do you guys remember that? I had one scene in this very cool leather outfit. I was very excited about the possibilities of Weir, but that was it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, gorgeous. What are you dressed? So my glasses are upstairs, but what do we have going on here?
Gold.
Oh, of course. All that glitters is gold. Go on.
All right. So initially, Elizabeth Weir was played by a different actress. And I'm just curious, how did you take this into account? Did it change the way how you played her? Or did you just say, well, it was just a couple of episodes, I'll go ahead with what I want to do?
Yeah, I get asked this a lot. I didn't know when I auditioned for her. I didn't know. When I was cast, I didn't know. It happens very quickly, the scenario. So all of a sudden you're cast, and next thing you know, you're packing your car up and you're driving up the one freeway to a city you've never lived in, and they sent you all the DVDs, because this was, eons ago. And I was trying to catch up with the show, and it wasn't until I started looking at some of the DVDs, and that's when I realized, oh, this character is being played by somebody else, because Brad never said that to me, not in my recollection. But I remember reaching out to him and asking, should I watch the episodes? Because obviously I want to know as much as I can about this character. I want to do my research. I want to show up with, all my pockets filled with backstory. But I was worried that I might be influenced, either rightly or wrongly. There was a reason that she was no longer there. I didn't know what that reason was. So Brad was great. He said, watch it if you want. You don't have to. You can just deal with the scripts as they come. And trust your instincts. You're cast on what you brought into the room. So I think I didn't watch it originally because I knew I would just myself. I'm a pretty insecure, second guesser, and I probably would have been influenced by her performance. When I eventually did, and I know her as an actor, she's a wonderful actor, a wonderful person, but we are so different. We are apples and oranges. Like, we are so different that I was sort of relieved and went, oh, I couldn't even try to do what she does. We're just different flavors. And that's always been the thing that saved me as an actor as well. Instead of getting upset when you lose a part, you realize there's no comparison. It's not, if they wanted that, they wanted that. That's not me. And to not have that competitive nature or comparison nature, because it'll just kill you otherwise. But thank you. And then Weir ended up being played by somebody else again, right? Like, I think Weir had 3 different actors play her in the end. What's that about? I was also desperate for Brad or somebody when they first did the change. I said, can you just have somebody do like a silly comment, like, oh, did you change your shirt? Or what's that with your hair? But no, they wanted to just forget it and move forward, which I'm glad they did. Thank you.
Hello. You just mentioned the possibilities of Weir, and I was wondering, in that regard, if hypothetically Atlantis came back, would you prefer to play a replicator Weir or the original Weir that had somehow survived and came back? And what would those possibilities be that you see?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Yeah, I mean, I would like to say, it'd be lovely to know what their plans were for who that person was. I mean, if it was I think I like the idea of it being something new, maybe sort of replicator, ascended Weir, or I don't know, or that evil Weir in the leather suit, who could have been good Weir in the leather suit. We don't know who Weir was in that leather suit. I like the leather suit though, so I want to be that Weir. It was not a red t-shirt, it was not polyester, it was a full leather thing. Yeah, but I miss Weir. I enjoyed playing her, and I always feel this is always lovely for me coming to these things, hearing especially a lot of young women that just say how much she mattered to them. And I get all like, oof, it's such a gift to hear that. And I always say, again, it wasn't me, it was the character, and I feel very grateful that I got to portray her, and I'm very grateful to Brad and Robert for writing her. Yeah, she was a cool human to play for a few years.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi, Torri. I actually have a similar question to the one that has been asked before. I'm also a huge theater actor. I'm also the kind of girl that travels to London watching 10 shows within 5 days. And I was wondering, you as an artist, what do you prefer more? Do you prefer working more live theater or doing more the movies and series?
When I first graduated from school, I went to theater college in London, and I left going, I just want to do theater. Everything else is a paycheck, I just want to do theater. Then I ended up doing nothing but television for a few years and a couple of very fast-to-video bad action films. And I got such a joy out of doing them. I enjoyed the camaraderie of the crew, the sort of world that you enter for a few months and then you leave it again. I enjoyed the having to learn to trust your instincts in a way. You don't have 3 weeks, delving and digging and discovering. And at first I missed that, delving and digging and discovering, and then I realized how each medium teaches you something different. And I realized when I went back to theater after not doing it for a few years that I had actually become freer in the rehearsal room, because I'd learned to sort of just trust and dive and go, and if something didn't work, let it go and move to something new. So I really love when you can do a balance of them as much as possible. I think television is great because if you've got a long series, you've got a chance to really grow with a character and not know where they're going, and there's something really beautiful about that. Film is great because it's sort of a mix between the two. You've got more time, but it comes to an end, so you can't sort of explore the character for that long. And then theater is just, well, it's just kind of magic. Like nobody's doing theater to get rich or famous. They're doing it because they love storytelling. They're doing it because they love exploring, they love language, they love just exploring the messiness of being a human. And that's still my passion. I like to celebrate the messiness of being a human, and I think theater does that really well. But I love them all. Thank you for asking.
Thank you.
Hi. Last week you told us about taking your dog on a plane, and now I would like to know if there are any funny stories about taking her to a set and filming with her.
Oh, taking my dog.
Yeah, to set.
Yeah, well, Stargate was the best set ever for that, because Brad is a dog person. They were all the producers and writers, they were all dog people. John Smith, the line producer, he was a dog person. The hair and makeup people were dog people. There'd be mornings that there would sometimes be like more dogs in the hair and makeup trailer than there were people. It was fabulous, and we could bring our dogs to set every day so you weren't worried about, is the walker walking them, are they stressed? It was really, really joyful set, and I didn't realize how unique that was until that job was over. And I went, oh gosh, I can't come with my dog? What kind of heathens are you guys? So that was really special, and I even remember one day, there was a really stressful day, everybody was just in a bad mood, nobody could get anything done, people like actors were hating their lines, and directors were hating actors, and it was just one of those days that nobody was fadging. And it was Martin Wood directing, and I think he said, come on everybody, out in the parking lot, everybody get your dogs out, 10 minutes of play. And we literally just like threw balls and played catch and fetch with the dogs, and you walk back in, it was just refresh. It was a very smart move of his, and really, really delightful. Oh, but also another funny story, because my dog was in Stargate. I forgot that. They wrote her in. She had a couple of episodes. And there's this one scene, it was when we were doing the flashback stuff that turned out to be, oh gosh, which episode was that? Like, you think Weir's back on Earth and being fired, but it's all in her head, that one? You guys know, I don't know, that episode. But we had a scene of me, and the dog was on the bed with me, and they kept calling cut, and something was going wrong with the lights, and after about 3 or 4 takes, I said, oh, I'm so sorry, it's my dog messing it up. And the DP was like, no, she's stealing your light. Push her out of the way and get in your light. That was very funny. This guy, the guy I have now, he wouldn't do that. He would just be a terror on set. Do you have a dog?
Unfortunately not, but I have 4 budgies at home.
Aww. I'm sorry, I actually didn't hear. You have a what, but she's at home?
Budgies, parakeets.
Oh, parakeets, birds. Yeah, they're very hard to travel with. Parakeets on a plane. In the future. There's always old dogs that need homes. If you can't walk them, you can go and adopt a nice old senior dog. They just want some love before they go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Okay, we'll take the last question. I shall stand quietly over here. No, you go. I shall stand quietly over here.
This is the last question.
Okay.
Oh, the pressure. Better be good.
Thank you for being here. And the question I have is, I really love the relationship between Elizabeth Weir and John Shepard. What do you think about their relationship, and should they have become romantic partners or something like this? Because there was a lot of innuendo in the early seasons between the two characters.
Yeah, he's a dream to play with as an actor, and he's a wonderful character to play against. I think, to be honest, I think writers, they always want that little energy there. But the reality was, if they actually did fall through with something, then what do? Then you miss that frisance, that sort of energy, that possibility is gone. And possibility is what keeps stories really alive and moving. So I understand why writers and producers like to feed that what if, but don't want to ever answer it. And also, how awful if they did get together and then they didn't get on, and then they're stuck on a spaceship together. Oh my God, awkward! That would have been very awkward. But I loved doing The Last Goodbye for that reason. We got to sort of play with that energy without having to ruin their relationship. And I think also it's sort of tough being a female boss still in this day, even though we're in 2025 and everything should be equal. It's not quite yet. So I think that would have complicated a lot of stuff, and she was always having to fight for her voice and her power, and I think that would have gotten even more complicated if she was making out with, number 2, who was number 1 on the call sheet, but, number 2 on the thing. But I'm glad you enjoyed the energy. I enjoyed it too. It was fun.
Thank you.
Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you for having me back to Bonn, and I can't wait for another day of this. And I love each and every one of you. Bisous, bisous.